Hello, eager participants of the Fall River's Quikasham River Trail. I am Polly Johnson. I am a hard-working African-American speculator, and I strongly participate in protesting against slavery. I often attend anti-slavery meetings with my husband, Nathan Johnson, and I would do anything I could to help slaves find their way to freedom. We are all the same, and Black people work just as hard as white people, and sometimes they work even harder. I have worked for almost all of my life to get where I am today. Trying my best to create a difference in the world is something I strive for every day. My husband and I own our own house on 21 7th Street, and we own 4 other properties on the block. I worked as a domestic earlier in my life to earn money to possess these homes, and even though I did not love working inside all day, I was still getting a sufficient profit. I personally believe that I have a strong business sense, which is a tool I use to get through life. I later took part in something I actually enjoyed and was passionate about, which was having my own confectionery shop. Baking was my true calling and was my favorite form of art that I practiced. I began exercising my cooking skills in France when I became my husband's chief assistant and created delicacies and delegated the venue where the food would be served. That's when I knew that catering and creating food was what I desired to do. So I opened up a place of my own. This was very convenient because I made more money and it was right alongside my house. I am mostly a cake and candy maker, and some examples of foods served in my shop are candy, sponge and loaf cakes, ice cream, fruit, macaroons, lemonade, and blancmange, a molded pudding. The sponge and loaf cakes are extremely scrumptious, and I definitely recommend it. My molded ice cream was the top pick of the city, so I made them the most expensive, $2 each. I mean, I am always known to be very ladylike and pleasant, but let me tell you a secret. I know that my sweets are irresistible and that people cannot get enough of it. I hope my foods inspire others to follow their dreams and that my tasty treats put a smile on the customers' faces. Earlier, I mentioned how I am a strong believer of equal rights and that African Americans deserve to be free and equal. Nathan and I opened up our home to many fugitives to shelter at our house when they escaped. We kept them hidden and contributed to their ability to have freedom in the future. The fugitives that stayed with us the longest was Frederick Douglass. What an incredible man. He was so kind, and Nathan and I loved having him stay with us. He lived with us for a year, and I am so grateful to have met him. Our house was a common safe, protecting slaves in our home. William Wells Brown and his daughters, Clarissa and Josephine, can be dangerous if we get caught, but Nathan and I believe that it is worth the risk. Therefore, sheltering to fugitives and running my confectionery business were the highlights of my life, and I am so joyous to know the impact I have left on people. You never know, maybe in the future, people will honor our home and shop and continue to pass down my recipes to New Bedford community. Well, I do not know about that, but what I do know is that the love I have for New Bedford, the slaves I met in my shop, is very strong, and I would not trade it for anything.